Hey, what the heck is going on, everybody? Sorry, am delayed in my live today. I was getting ready to go live, and then my sister came over and dropped something off, and then we got to talking. You know how it goes. So I apologize for being a couple of minutes late, but hopefully it is worth it. How are you guys? Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I have been studying all day today, pretty much. I've been downloading and uploading footage, so while that's doing, I can't really edit. I want to keep the processing power of my computer going towards those things. So I have been studying and reading and watching these instructional videos for the Knowledge Business Blueprint that I was doing, that I'm involved in. And it's just a lot of fun. I've got my little notebook full of all the ideas and stuff that I had. But today, I want to talk to you about the touch of the master's hand. There's a poem. Some of you may have heard it. I'm going to go into that. But today, we're just going to talk about how your mastery, your journey, your story to becoming the master at what you are, and those kinds of things, how it helps your business and your products and stuff. I know we kind of touched on this in a previous live, but I want to go into it again deeper. So that is what we're going to go into. I hope you guys are excited. If you are, let's light it up with hearts and thumbs up and get started. Okay, happy Monday, Nate, Crystal, what's up? Thanks for hopping on live. I'm excited that you're here, and I'm just excited to be back. Friday, I did a quick little live from my phone on my car, in my car, and then the day was just like so full. I didn't do like another one in the evening and stuff like that. So I'm back in the saddle, and I'm redirecting and getting recentered on things, and this is just a little side note I want to go into. So many people talk to me about publishing and having a schedule and how hard it is. I feel you. I have been doing these 6 days a week for the last 3 weeks. I've missed a couple days because I was traveling or just, life happens. And I totally feel that frustration and the worry and the fear and the uncertainty and all the stuff that goes into it. I have been doing these every day. For over a year and a half, pretty much almost every day, multiple times a week and stuff like that. But still, I get tripped up. Even when I'm in the habit and I'm rolling, some days I'm like, what do I want to talk about? And I spend so much time trying to figure out what it is I want to talk about that I miss out on, the thing sometimes. So I totally get it. But I'm going to tell you, I will start with this little secret. When it comes to publishing and telling your story and putting it out there, consistency is key. Going live, just like having an intention. You always talk about how you always hear me talk about how you want you to be intentional with your stories, right? But sometimes you just draw a blank. So sometimes you go and you just speak what's in your heart, and whatever comes out, comes out. And sometimes there's some gold nuggets and amazing things happen. Sometimes you lay an egg. It happens. It happens to me sometimes. Not super frequently because I'm so much in the habit and I'm thinking ahead but still, it happens, okay? So don't get discouraged when you get caught up or, get a little bit flustered or unsure as to what you should be talking about or things like that, okay? So there's that. And had an amazing weekend with the family, mowed the lawn. It's starting to get under control now. It was really long, so I didn't want to just cut it super short. So I was gradually getting it down to the length that I want it to over the last couple of weeks. And now it's time to really get it going, get some Argyle patterns and all that kind of stuff. What is up, Tony? Happy to have you on, brother. Good to see you. Elias, what's up? Nate and Crystal, my people. So today I want to talk about the touch of the master's hand. There's a poem that I'm going to read to you. I have it here on my screen. But I want to reiterate to you guys that regardless of what your business is, your focus, whatever it is you're working on, you have years, decades of experience in your life. And that is what uniquely qualifies you to be able to teach and do the things that you want. Whether it's being a nerd like me and having lived your whole life in fantasy world of stories, and then working in film and learning all the technical side of that visual storytelling and then combining them together, I'm uniquely qualified, right? There are other people who can do that kind of stuff, but from my perspective and what I have experienced, I am uniquely qualified to serve certain people, right? And if you, like Nate, if he's still on here, like he's done tons of research and stuff into the CBD space, and he's waiting for some things like, you know, to fall into place to really run hard with stuff. But like, he has expertise and knowledge and experience that I don't have, that other people don't have, and a unique perspective that makes him uniquely and very well qualified to help the people that he can help. Okay? There are so many people in the world. We feel like we're always competing for the same people. However, we can step outside of those groups. There are so many other people that we can serve. And we kind of get tunnel vision or play in the same sandbox the whole time. And we get kind of hung up on things that aren't really important. And keep us from serving the people whom we are meant to serve, okay? I don't know what everyone's beliefs are. I'm a believer in a supreme being, you know, in a heavenly Father that loves us and knows us. And he's given us talents to be able to affect and bless and help people have change in their lives. So regardless of what your belief system is, whether you believe that is garbage or you believe it with all your heart, it doesn't matter. But you have a purpose here on earth. You're here for more than just living and breathing and turning food into waste and repeating all day. Okay? You're here for more than that. And if you're an entrepreneur, you have found a way to direct some of that purpose to serving and helping others. If you're not an entrepreneur and you work a regular job or whatever it is, you still have a purpose. And this speaks to you as well. Okay? So I'm going to start by how many of you have heard the poem "The Touch of the Master's Hand"? Comment and hashtag I have. Give me some hearts, thumbs up, that kind of stuff. Okay, Tony, thank you for the comments. I would love to be on your show. Let's find a time to do that. That would be way cool. Rex, thanks for hopping on. So, this is a poem. Let me see if I have a date on when it was written. Oh, I don't have a date. It's by Myra Brooks Welch, or Welch, however you want to pronounce it. CLCH, no S. So Myra Brooks Welch wrote this poem, and I've heard it several times throughout my life, but I'm going to read it to you right now. And I want you to be thinking in this. Think about yourself. Think about your experience, your mastery, and we'll get into some mindset stuff after this, but like, think about your skills, your talents, your abilities, and your voice. And as I read this, okay? So here we go. 'Twas battered and scarred, and the auctioneer thought it hardly worth his while to waste his time on the old violin, but he held it up with a smile. "What am I bid, good people?" he cried. "Who starts the bidding for me? $1, $1. Do I hear two? $2, who makes it three? $3 once, $3 twice, going for three?" But no. From the room far back, a gray-bearded man came forward and picked up the bow. Then, wiping the dust from the old violin and tightening up the strings, he played a melody pure and sweet as the angel wings. The music ceased, and the auctioneer, with a voice that was quiet and low, said, "What now am I bid for this old violin?" And he held it aloft with its bow. $1,000, $1,000. Do I hear two? $2,000. Who makes it three? $3,000 once, $3,000 twice, going and gone, said he. The audience cheered, but some of them cried, "We just don't understand what changed its worth." Swift came the reply, "The touch of the master's hand." And many a man with life out of tune, all battered and bruised with hardship, is auctioned cheap to a thoughtless crowd, much like that old violin. A mess of pottage, a glass of wine, a game, and he travels on. He is going once, he is going twice, he is going and almost gone. But the master comes, and the foolish crowd can never quite understand the worth of a soul and the change that is wrought by the touch of the master's hand. Okay? So, that has some spiritual tones to it. I don't apologize for that if it makes you uncomfortable. That's your prerogative. That doesn't bother me. But we see, like in this story, there's an old dusty violin at an auction house. And the auctioneer looks at it and he's like, it was hardly worth his while, right? It says. But still he goes and he auctions it. He starts the bidding at $1, $2, $3 almost sold. Then this guy comes up, tunes it, plays a beautiful piece of music, and then its value is increased immediately. It was the same violin when it was selling for $1, $2, $3, and it sold for $3,000, right? Because people could see what it could do, the potential that it had, the power that was within it all along, whether it looked dusty or not, right? And so then it talks about how we as people, we get kind of looked down on, or, auction cheap to a thoughtless crowd and things like that. But the master comes, and the foolish crowd never can quite understand the worth of a soul and the change that is wrought by the touch of the master's hand. So think of this in your own life with what you are building with your business, right? So many of us put ourselves down. We know our flaws, we know our weaknesses, and all those kinds of things. But first, you need to understand and accept that you are worth something. You are worth a lot. You have unique life experience, expertise, and insights that other people don't. And other people will seek you out when you position it correctly. For me, I've worked in film, TV, commercials, and news. I've always geeked out about stories. I combined them together. All of that love of all of that stuff, and the years and the struggles and everything that I learned along the way, to helping entrepreneurs craft their stories. And not only just craft their stories, but find the stories that resonate and are impactful for their business, that they can wrap around all of their products and services to help people, yes, fall in love with you and connect, but also to help you sell more of your stuff. If you have not been watching over the last 3 weeks, go back and watch a bunch of the replays. I've showed you how it works with exercise bikes for desks. I've showed you how it works with natural products, with oils and multi-level marketing. I've shown you how it works with real estate. I've shown you how your stories will increase the value of an inanimate object, right? I don't have it in here with me. Oh, yes, I do. Pause. Grab this. Oh no, you saw my messy background that I block out. No. So I'm going to reiterate this one piece because I don't think many of you saw this. I want to show you this sweatshirt. This is a hoodie that I have had since 2002. If you can't see, it's an FDNY, New York Fire Department's hooded sweatshirt. It's one of their official ones. It's not something that you just get off the corner streets, especially at least back then. And the story behind this hooded sweatshirt, it is a Hanes cotton poly 50-50 blend hoodie. If you were to just go buy one, it's Hanes brand. So it's like if you were just to buy it plain off the rack at like Walmart or something, it'd be $20, right? But let me tell you the story behind this hooded sweatshirt. And you will see how a touch of the master's hand, wrapping it up in a story, will increase its value. Fair enough? You guys cool? Give me some love here if you want to hear this story. Lance, what is up, dude? Thanks for hopping on. Don, Jack, Lori, thanks for getting on, you guys. So, This sweatshirt I got in 2002. Now, as many of you know, 2001, September 11th, 2001, was the attack on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. 9/11, that's what we refer to it as. And it was crazy. My father is a firefighter. He's been a firefighter for over 30 years. He's still going. He's still working because he loves the work. And after his September 11th attacks, and the loss of life, especially within the New York Fire Department, he felt that loss, the loss of his brothers, right? And he listened here. He felt a call. He felt a purpose. He felt he needed to do something. So he was able to get he designed some t-shirts and got a whole bunch of things, coins and plaques and posters and pictures and t-shirts and everything. And he was speaking with one of the fire engine manufacturers, Pierce Manufacturing, that builds most of the fire trucks and engines in America. And he was talking to them about what he wanted to do. And they actually donated a fire engine and put custom decals on it and all this kind of stuff, and let him take that. And then a local RV dealer here in Salt Lake donated a couple of big RVs, and the Dodge dealership here donated some vans. And he got some of his firefighting brothers and a few other people, and they drove city to city across America selling these t-shirts and selling all these things, and letting people take pictures with the fire truck and all of this stuff. One, to help heal and the broken hearts after 9/11, but also to raise money to be able to donate directly to the New York City Fire Department. You know, when you donate your money to the Red Cross or these other things, like, your money, some of it eventually gets to where you want it to go, but it doesn't at the same time, if you know what I mean. Not to bag on the Red Cross or some of these organizations, but they have huge overhead. He wanted to give the money straight to the fire department. No intermediaries, no people digging their hands in to pay these high-level execs and stuff like that, right? And so he went city to city across New York, or across America, and they eventually ended up in New York City. And they had raised, a couple $100,000. It was called the Fallen Fund, and all this stuff. So he, showed up. They obviously didn't just knock on their door unannounced, but the fire department knew that they were coming, and they met with brothers. He went to Ground Zero when it was still the smoldering rubble heap that it was, and he was there for a couple days, and they presented the money over to the fire department. It was great, and the fire department was so touched by the gesture that he was able to get a couple of things. Now, if you look at firefighters, when you see them around, they have the cool dark blue Navy shirts that have the little symbol and it says whatever city on the back, or that kind of stuff. You can't buy those off the street. You can't go into a store and say, "Hey, I want a Salt Lake City Fire Department T-shirt." It might be different now for big places like Chicago or New York City, but at the time, the only people who got official fire department gear were firefighters. Even as a kid, I never was able to get one of those shirts. I got one that was 10 years old, hand-me-down, that this department didn't use anymore, from my dad, right? That was the only time I got a official fire department shirt. It was well after the fact, when it was past its usefulness and they had moved to something else. So this little Hanes cotton poly blend hooded sweatshirt that is an official FDNY sweatshirt that the firefighters got at the time. My dad got a few of those, and this is the one that he gave me when he returned home. Now, do you see how that story takes this $20 sweatshirt and makes it so much more valuable? One, it's a rare item, but the story that went behind how it came into my possession, born from tragedy and somebody answering a call of wanting to serve and help others, driving city to city across the country, selling t-shirts and coins and little things, patches and badges and things like that, to give money directly to the department of his fallen brothers. I was able to get this hooded sweatshirt. And it means a lot to me. Like, I wore it all the time when I first got it. Now I look at it as a very, just a cool reminder of lots of things, of sacrifice, and it just means a lot to me. But like, even without my sentimentality attached to it, it's a rare item. It's something that you can't just go and buy, right? At least at the time. I haven't looked to see if you can buy FDNY, official FDNY stuff now. But at the time you couldn't. So that's an example of how, I'm not going to gild the lip. I'm a master at crafting stories. Like, I am. I have done it so many times and for so many people and for myself that I have got the process locked down. I know how to connect hearts through stories. Now, first of all, was that a good story today? Was that okay? Do you guys see how that story increased the value of a cotton poly blend hooded sweatshirt? Can you see that? Or did I miss it? Anybody? So I'm going to grab a drink. This is the power that you guys are not tapping into. I'm not selling that. There's no way. There's another time I talked about one of my guitars, and stuff. There's no way I'm going to sell these things. But you see how the value is increased. You have that same ability with your business, with your products, with your services. Now, my buddy Lance, he has seen, I think he has watched every single one of my lives that I have done in this series. I think I'm on 20, this is like my 20th or so Facebook Live, geared about helping you guys see how stories sell more of your stuff. Now, how can Lance, who is a plumber in Wyoming, how can he use his story to sell more of his stuff? Or to get more clients? And I know he's had an influx of business as he's been applying things and as he's been delivering and doing awesome stuff for his clients. How does he, handle all that? That's awesome. It's a good problem to have. But then also, how can he catapult it to the next level, right? With his story and his background. And he and I have talked about it, and we're going to have a time where we record an interview style thing with he and I share it with you guys to kind of see the process of how we could take a plumbing business in Wyoming and wrap some stories, even more stories. He's been doing Facebook Lives talking about why he does what he does, showing behind the scenes looks. It's just been amazing to watch. And Lori, awesome. I'm happy you're taking notes. I hope this is useful stuff. And just as a side note, if there's a niche or a business or a product type or anything that you would like to see examples or have me show you how you can use stories and wrap them up and to be able to sell more stuff, please either send me a message or drop it in the comments, because I've done everything. I've done it with some specific products like desk exercise bikes with herbal or natural things from MIG soap. I've done it with real estate and things like that. So definitely drop me comments or send me a message as to this type of thing that you'd like me to look at, and I will. I see books, so I'll look into that. So going back to you and your expertise, you have created your business, right? You have, some of it has been through trial and struggle and failure that has catapulted you to this thing. Others has been a lifelong passion or a trade or a skill that you discovered as you grew up and you started to run with it and are helping people and you love it, right? Now, you have to do one thing in order for this to work. Are you ready for this one thing? Anybody? You have to believe that you are a master. Now, I'm not saying that you've conquered everything and you have the penthouse suite or anything like that. No. You just have to believe and accept that you are really, really good at what you do. That you are better than everybody else. Not in an arrogant way, but you are better at that thing than anybody else. You are uniquely qualified through your background and your experience. Am I the only storytelling guy out there? No. Am I the only video guy out there? Heck no. There are millions of them, of both, everywhere. But you know what? I'm uniquely qualified, and I'm better than most of them. Not being arrogant, but better than most of them because I believe it. I've put in the time, and I have seen the way that people react to stories that I tell. Like last week, we watched my Friendly Giant Films video, the promo video for my business, and I'm in the process of writing and scripting out a follow-up to that, right? But the reaction to that is insane. That doesn't happen if it sucks or if it isn't executed, right? So whatever it is, whether you're a plumber or you're an author or you're a coach or you have a golf grip trainer or you sell beard oils or you make water bottles or whatever it is, you have unique experience that makes you uniquely qualified to share it with other people. Okay? And the way you differentiate yourself from any other water bottle maker or beard oil manufacturer or storyteller or video guy or plumber is you tell your personal stories. Okay? You don't only just tell your personal stories just for the sake of telling them. You are intentional about them. You want to guide your audience on a journey. That is how you differentiate yourself from everybody else. That is what makes you worth so much more than everybody else in your space. MIG Soap sells a headache balm that you rub a little bit on your temple, your forehead, and the back of your neck. It comes in a stick about this big, and it's $20. It's like a bigger version of chapstick, right? Or like one of those glue sticks, except for you don't eat it. Right? It's a $20 thing made from all natural products. It like relieves headache pain like really super fast, instantaneously nearly. Then there's ibuprofen or aspirin or Tylenol or any of those pills that come in a bottle about the same size that cost $3 or $4. Maybe if you bought a bigger one, like one of those $7 or $8 bigger bottles, right? It relieves pain temporarily and stuff. But what differentiates this $3 bottle of pills versus this $20 stick of stuff that you put on your forehead and temples? The story that they use. I'll drop a link here. You can go check out their stuff. I will drop a link after this. I should have had it ready. I didn't think I was going to talk about them for you to go and check them out. But like for real, they talk about how it alleviates the pain. It hits the pain points, but talks about the benefits. Not only does it alleviate the pain, but like after a while, it can prevent the pain from coming in the first place, right? And it happens instantaneously versus having your pills and now it messes with you take ibuprofen, it messes with your liver. Yeah, you get this, and it's just the story that they tell about it makes it worth $20, and people buy it over and over and over. They're going to cross $10 million very soon in their business. They're already at over $1 million a year. They're growing and scaling, and it's incredible. Okay? What sets you apart is sharing your story. Okay? So I'm just looking at comments. Janine, I don't think it comes across as arrogant when you clearly have such experience. That's true. Like if you are the best plumber, or if you are the funnel commander, like Janine with her experience, like she owns it. She comes walking in, stomping in with her boots and confident, tells people what they need to do, moves on to the next thing. Let's get this done. Okay, let's get this. Like she has the experience, and she owns it. right? She's working on getting more. She's so sweet and kind as well. She's finding that balance, and she's just incredible. She's helped me in my business a tremendous amount in the short amount of time that we've been working together. Lori, I will definitely find the link and share it here. But if you truly going back to the example of the poem that I shared with the touch of the master's hand, your product and your service, you didn't create it, right? You're not the only person to have that idea ever. But you make it so much more valuable. You take that old, dusty, broken-looking violin that was going to sell for $1, $2, or $3, tune it up, dust it off, and play a beautiful tune, and it sells for $3,000. Your touch on the thing that you're building is what adds more value. So if you want to earn more, if you want to sell more, if you want to charge more, you bring the value, and the value comes from your expertise and your experience. And people can look at a list of all these acronyms after your names for all these degrees or positions or licenses that you may have. And some people will buy based on that, but that doesn't set you apart from every other lawyer, doctor, plumber, whatever, the qualifications, because they all have to have them, right? It's the way that you impact people's lives with it. It's the way that you serve and the passion that you have for it. It's the reason why you got into doing the things that you do. That is what gets people to come to you and choose you over the competition. If you're battling on price and going down to the bottom, it is a race to the bottom, and it will burn you out and you will hate it. It will be it's the worst thing you could do. I enjoy when somebody comes up to me and lowballs me with something or says, well, so-and-so said they can do it for this. Guess what? I tell them, that's great. Go ahead and go over with them. When you're ready to come up and play at the upper echelons of things, I'll be here, right? And I wish them well, and I don't have any ill towards them or anything like that. It's just I don't play in the $500 or $1,000 ranges anymore at all. Like, add an extra zero on there, and now you're in my neighborhood, right? And I know that I miss out on lots of business because some people can't afford me. And that's why I try to teach and give people other things so that they can grow their business by applying these things, and then they can afford me. Or they can go to work and see that, oh man, this is really hard. I need to find a way to be able to work with Nick, right? It's the same with any type of business. When you're able to do that and you wrap it up in your story, a way that helps them connect to you, see that you're experienced and know what you're talking about, and shows them how their world is benefited by having you in it. If you guys have been watching me, I talk about that journey over and over and over. That is the path to getting people to opening up their wallets and giving you their money. Okay? And being able to do that with the things that you love. That's why we started business. Yes, we want to create or make money. So anybody who says they're in business for anything otherwise is an absolute liar. Okay? But we have the opportunity to impact and to serve and to help more people through our business. Okay? So exactly. Lance says, cheap work's not good, and good work is not cheap. It's absolutely true. It's funny. Some people to emphasize that point. I say, okay, when I work with people, they usually want 3 things. They want it good, they want it fast, and they want it cheap. You can pick any 2 of them, but you cannot have all 3. It's impossible. If you want it good, then you have to choose if you want it cheap or if you want it fast. If you want it fast, you have to decide if you want it cheap or good, that kind of stuff. And it's just, you can't have you can't have all 3. It's impossible. So that is the big thing. And I feel bad. I honestly do. I have people that come up to me a lot and say, hey, Nick, I really am stuck with this and I need to do this and that. And I want to help them, but I can't give you time, if you can't invest. There are 3 types of investments, right? This is the other thing to remember, especially when you add your master's touch to what you're doing. There's the investment of time. What you do usually compresses and saves time for the person. There might be an investment of time that they need to put in some work themselves, but ultimately the work that they do and that time spent compresses the timeline for them overall. People who sit down with me and work on their stories for 90 minutes and pay me $2,000 to do that, then their timeline gets compressed because they get everything worked out, right? They get everything understood and clarified. If they don't, they spend months, months, years trying to figure it out on their own. And some do, and it works, and that's great. But they traded a lot of time to get there, right? Then there's change. That's another type of investment. If you're not willing to implement the things that you are taught, then I don't want to partner with people like that, right? And that's the same thing with your clients. If you're going to say, hey, Lance is going to say, hey, we need to do this, this, and this in order to fix this problem. If they're like, let's just do this one part of it. It's not going to work. You might temporarily alleviate some of the problem, but the main problem's still there. And if they're unwilling to implement and work and do the things that they need to, they're still going to have the same problem, and it's going to cost them more money over time, right? And then the last one is money, right? There's a cost to things. Your expertise and your skills are valuable, and they're even more valuable when they have that personal connection to you and you raise it through your stories, okay? And so when you think of your clients and the people that you want to serve, when you bring your mastery, and I'm going to say this again, broken record time, you are a master at your craft. You are right now. You don't have to have a piece of paper. You have the experience that you are ahead of the people that you can serve. That's all that matters. Are there people that are more advanced at me with storytelling and video? Absolutely. Do I claim to be better than them? No. I don't know who they are because there aren't that many. No, but you know what I mean? I serve the people and attract the people that I want to attract. And that is people who have successful businesses that I don't have to convince they need to be telling stories for their business or anything like that. They understand the value of it and they want guided direction on how to make it work for their business. And they're ready to invest the time, make the changes, and invest the money to do it, right? So with you, what does that client base or what does that ideal client look for you? And as you add your mastery and your talent and your skills to it, that is where the value really goes up and you can charge what you want to charge. Okay, Friday I did this live where I talked about this lady at the gas station was talking about how the prices of gas have gone up so much and how she's like, higher wages, pay us more money and stuff. And I was just like, I just went along with her. But as I was walking out, I had this bring more value. If you want to make more money, you bring more value. If you want to bring more value, you introduce your story, your expertise, and the reason why you do it, your passions, into your business. That is how you bring more value. That is how you make more money. Does that make sense? Do you see how clear that path is? The story to revenue connection. Do you see one or am I missing it for you? Let me know. I'm going to look at the comments really quick. So, Janine, I don't like working with patients that didn't want to implement for the sake of their own health. Same thing, no matter what the topic is, I think. If you're passionate about sharing it. Exactly. I'm going to throw that up there. You don't want to work with people who aren't going to do and implement the things that you want them to do. Now, that's not a control thing. That's not being rude. That is you being the expert, telling them how to fix a problem or how to implement something. If they're unwilling to do it, you do not want them as a client, regardless if they're going to pay you tons of money or whatever. Like I've had people offer me money to do stuff, and I just knew that they weren't going to do the things that I wanted them to do and that they needed to do. And so I turned it down. You have that ability when you bring the value, right? Let's see, Lance, I give 3 options: good, better, and best. Leave it in their field to play. But if they pick good, then call us back for best. It's going to cost them more. Exactly, right? And you like the shirt? Yeah. I do speak fluent movie quotes for any of you who like Lance. When we were back in our flat in Edinburgh, I'm sure we threw around some movie quotes quite a bit. That's like how I love to communicate. I just want to reiterate as I wrap this up, and I'll read the poem one last time. Your expertise, your experience, your life story, and everything that has gone into it makes you the master of what you're doing right now. You need to own it and you need to believe it. And when you do, the value increases in the minds of your clients, okay? So I'm going to read this poem one last time. The Old Violin, The Touch of the Master's Hand by Myra Brooks Welch, okay? 'Twas battered and scarred, and the auctioneer thought it hardly worth his while to waste his time on the old violin, but he held it up with a smile. "What am I bid, good people?" he cried. "Who starts the bidding for me? $1, $1, do I hear two? $2, who makes it three? $3 once, $3 twice, going for 3. But no. From the room far back, a gray-bearded man came forward and picked up the bow. Then wiping the dust from the old violin and tightening up the strings, he played a melody pure and sweet as the angel wings. As the angel sings, excuse me. The music ceased, and the auctioneer, with a voice that was quiet and low, said, "Now what am I bid for this old violin?" And he held it aloft with its bow. 1,000, 1,000, do I hear two? 2,000, who makes it 3? 3,000 once, 3,000 twice, going and gone, said he. The audience cheered, but some of them cried, "We just don't understand what changed its worth." Swift came the reply, the touch of the master's hand. And many of a man with life out of tune, all battered and bruised with hardship, is auctioned cheap to a thoughtless crowd, much like that old violin. A mess of pottage, a glass of wine, a game, and he travels on. He is going once, he is going twice, he is going and almost gone. But the master comes, and the foolish crowd never can quite understand the worth of a soul and the change that is wrought by the touch of the master's hand. That story, that poem may end on a spiritual note with the master and how he touches our lives. And that is absolutely true. He has touched your life with your experiences and your stories. And I didn't think that I would get a little bit emotional here. He has uniquely qualified you. Whether you believe in it or not, something has qualified you. Believe in something bigger than yourself, whether it's God or the universe or whatever. But you have been uniquely qualified to be the master in your life and the master of the thing that you have created. And by such, you are the master to the lives of those that you can serve. Not in a sacrilegious way, no. With what you have created right this very second. The business that you have built that's come from passion, that's come from heartache, that's come from pain, that's come from experience. You are qualified to be the master, to serve and help them. The worth of a soul and the change that is wrought by the touch of the master's hand. Think of the worth of the souls whom you serve and the change that is wrought when you are able to give them the solutions that you created and do with your business. Do you see the power that you have, the responsibility you have? The only way they're going to know that you're the master isn't with a laundry list of all these qualifications. It is from you telling your story, your passions, your reasons for why you do this, and why you spend your days obsessing about serving them and getting them through their hardships. That is where the mastery is shown and the value is grown. Remember, it just takes one story. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Love you. Share this, like it, all of that fun stuff. People need to hear this. We'll catch you on the next one.